Okay, so welcome to our World Cup preview for Group E, consisting of Switzerland, France, Ecuador, and Honduras.
So let's get started with Switzerland. Now,
Switzerland, the seeds.
The seeds.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me about it. I won't talk about that.
The seeded team.
The 10th World Cup, and they made a quarterfinals on 3 occasions. The last time they made a quarterfinals was in 1954.
Oh, that was when they hosted it. Yeah.
Yes, that's when it has actually. Yeah.
So, look, they were undefeated in qualifying, albeit it was an easy group.
Very easy group. When a team finishes second is Iceland,
Yeah.
you know the quality of the group.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, despite all that,
And the reason why they're seeded for this World Cup is because of that easy group in the qualifying stages. They got a lot of wins.
yeah, so it sort of went hand in hand, and then they went up and up and up. Anyway,
Yeah.
they've got this good group now because of that. But look, I mean, they must be doing something right. Certainly, they've got some talent in midfield. You've got Shaqiri, who plays for Bayern Munich, and you've got a few others like Baneta from Eintracht Frankfurt, and you have Kasami from Fulham as well.
Yep.
They certainly are difficult to break down. They're very organised. Ottomar Hitzfeld is the coach, former Bayern Munich. So, you know, yeah, they don't have a wealth of talent, but they're doing the best they can with what they have. So they still deserve some respect. Yeah.
They were the only team that beats the world champions last time.
Spain. Yeah.
In the opening game.
The opening game was it was a scrappy 1-0, but they got the job done.
Did you talk about Inla?
No, Gotham England is another one. Yeah, that's.
That he's the captain. I reckon he's the key for them.
Is he still at Udinese or is he?
No, Napoli.
Napoli now. Okay.
He's in Napoli now.
Okay.
So so he's been fine form from Napoli. He's also a key player for Napoli, but also a key player for Switzerland.
Yeah.
As long with him and Shaqiri, they're gonna be crucial for them to progress.
Yeah.
So,
also they used to lack a striker, but Josip Drmic, I think that's how you pronounce it. Wonderful young player, 17 goals in 33 games for Nuremberg. Has been snapped up by Bayer Leverkusen. Was linked with some big clubs in Europe. But that's where he's chosen to go. But good young player, so certainly doing some things right in the striking department as well. So and undefeated in qualifying as well. So
yep.
Yeah. So
all right. So that's Switzerland. Let's move on to the next team, which is Ecuador. Third World Cup. They made second round once in 2006.
Yep.
They qualified in 4th spot in South America, which is obviously a very fine achievement.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that their star striker Benitez actually passed away.
Yeah, very tragic circumstances. Last year, he was based in Qatar, and
it was a car crash, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
So,
So despite that, they were able to qualify in the end.
yeah.
In terms of the chances, well, the key player is Antonio Valencia, without doubt.
Of Manchester United. Certainly, yeah, and his performance will certainly dictate how they do well.
Yeah.
How well they do.
In terms of Ecuador's style of play, they're very defensive. They depend on the defensive structure to keep teams out, and depend on Valencia really to make the openings for the team.
Yeah. And there seems to be a perception that they can only perform at altitude, which isn't entirely true. Certainly, the 3 World Cups they've been to, 2002 was their debut. For so long, they never qualified. They got a win against Croatia, which was wonderful for the country. 2006, they made the round of 16 in a group involving Germany. Narrowly missed out on the last World Cup as well. So it's not that they only perform at altitude, and especially in a group that is as open as this. You know, who knows?
Yeah, but overall, I think they're gonna struggle simply because they haven't got the same level of quality as the other teams, and a lot of the players actually play in Ecuador, and obviously, if they're playing at that level, I don't think they'll be ready for the world stage.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna struggle.
Sure.
Next team, France. 14th World Cup. Obviously, won the World Cup once back in '98 when they hosted it.
Yep.
but the last World Cup was an absolute disaster.
And it was at the end of the Dominic era, and a lot of team disharmony, a lot of news about Nasri being eliminated, not being selected.
Yeah.
He was just one of the stories. A lot of stuff surrounding Ramon Dominic, and Deschamps has come in and he's brought the spirit back in the team. He's brought the unity back in the team.
Yeah.
Certainly looking like the friends that people see on paper and
Yeah.
want and perform on paper.
And you could see that, by the way, they qualified. They had to come back from 2-0 down the first leg against Ukraine to qualify for the World Cup.
It was a lot of people. So, but that just shows the spirit of the team, and that certainly in the Dominic days, it would be 2-0 first leg, and they'd probably concede even more goals in the second leg. So it was a disaster. South Africa 2010, and even the Euros before that. So Deschamps made a big decision to leave out Nasri, and initially I was wondering why, but it makes sense given all the problems they had 4 years ago.
So I guess he's making team harmony the number one priority.
Because there's no doubt they have the talent. Even in defence, you know, just look at on paper. They're just a wonderful, wonderful team. For them not to get past the group stage last time and fail so spectacularly, it really shows how poorly managed their team was. So, defence, midfield, strikers. There's not that much weakness.
Not that much weakness. In terms of key players, I would say Frank Ribery is a huge player for them. I mean, he was second runner-up in the Ballon d'Or last year, third best player in the world. You know, according to the votes.
Yeah.
Apart from that, you've got one of the best young midfielders in the world, Paul Pogba. Who is a rising star, and this could be a tournament where he really shines and really takes France forward. Yeah,
definitely. And you know, they'll be lucky to be put into this group. Even a lot of people saying that they're a de facto seed, given that Switzerland was the official seed, but many will consider France the stronger team. One interesting fact, and this could work both ways, they've never ever played Honduras in a competitive game, and they've only played Ecuador once for 1 win, so that unknown factor might be a problem for them against the weaker teams, but
we shall see. Well, I don't think they'll struggle, but we'll see. Finally, the last team in this group, Group B, is Honduras, and it's their third World Cup. Last two World Cups, or last two World Cups. Oh, sorry, the 2 times they've actually made the World Cup, they've been eliminated group stage.
3 draws, 3 losses, never won again.
There you go. And the other thing is that, but they finished third in the Hex in the CONCACAF qualifying, and they even did better than Mexico. Yeah,
exactly. So, so it was pretty. Things were made a bit easier for them because of the Mexico debacle. And their strength seems to lie in the sort of defensive midfield area with Raúl and Palacios of the Premier League, and you got Manuel Figueroa marshalling from the back as well. So they're very much the style of team that likes to suffocate the opposition, close down the space. They will frustrate France. They will frustrate Switzerland. Whether or not it's enough to get a point,
we're going to score goals. And just frustrate the team and actually score goals against them. So
if they want to actually win a game for the first time, they need to do a bit more than that.
I have to agree that there's a lack of quality over the pitch. Apart from those players you mentioned, there's really a lack of quality, around all positions on the pitch. So I think Honduras struggle as well. Well, on that note, let's move on to the predictions for this group. Who do you think is going through?
I'd say France and Switzerland.
And I'll say the same thing. France 1 and Switzerland second spot.
Switzerland second, Alright, and that's Group B.
Thank you.
Thank you.